What is up, Twitchlets? My name is Mr. Twitchy. I was about to say the night portion of Mugen Eclipse. No, this is my own personal channel. I am back today with another One Piece reaction. This time, little two-piece for One Piece, that being chapters 1145 and 1146. I missed last week, or the week before. I think Oda was on break last week, and just didn't have a chance to catch up on the One Piece recently. Feeling a bit under the weather over the weekend, and just a lot of stuff going on Mugen Eclipse, our dual reaction channel I have with my friend Vonte. He might be joining a little bit later tonight, but I am excited to continue to read this great series. Previously, Killingham and Saint Killingham causing havoc on the island of Elbaf with their Dream and Thorn devil fruits, respectively. They are bringing to life the various nightmares of the children, and then they are trying to abduct them, not through the fire and the flames, but through the flames at least. Fire and the Flames? I never really thought about that. Have you guys ever thought about that song? Like, what's the difference between fire and flames? Does anyone know? It's off topic. I'm sorry, but yes. So getting back onto topic, I should say, he was gonna have him just walk through the flames. So that was not great. But Dorry Broggy came through with a Hakoku Sovereignty and took out, I have to look this up, Niddhoggr. Niddhoggr. That's a funny name. One of the nightmare dragons that was conjured up by the devil fruit. And also Gaban is there. So hopefully at least that side of Elbaf will be fine for the time being. Loki's being healed up. It's going to take quite some time for him to get re-healed. He has been through the ringer and a half. But what else? I think that's pretty much it. Luffy's just chilling with them. Loki had a quick conversation with Harjin. Did not take me 5 minutes to remember his name this time. About, did you really think I killed Dad? I don't think he did. But yeah, other than that, I'm going to be reading 1145 from Viz, 1146 elsewhere. That's all I'll say. So if any mistranslations occur, please do bear with me and forgive me. But let me go ahead and... Oh, is this... Did Oda draw this, or was this a part of the anime team? It says... Oh, okay. So the illustration is by Midori Matsuda, which I believe is one of the production creators of the One Piece anime. If I ever had to have a Jeopardy section of the One Piece anime knowledge, no, absolutely not. But this is to celebrate the return of Egghead, so I'll eventually get back to the anime, just not a pressing concern at the moment. But I love the Straw Hat crew. They're all just watching. As if, like, Luffy's like, it's me? It's me? Yes, it's you, Luffy. This is a greatest highlights film. And then Sanji does have the, what is that, a hamburger on deck? Yep. All right, Usopp, Robin. The only thing I don't quite know is if there is supposed to be a person associated with that transponder snail in the back. It looks pretty rudimentary, so I would say no at the time being. That's just a general aesthetic of a transponder snail, but let me get started. So chapter 1145, Wildfire Inn, Force Sector 2, Branch Route 8. All right, that's right. They have the highway system on the trees of Elbaf. Okay, I'm not reading that. Volume 30, Pei still alive. Barely. But he is giving either Ulti or Yamato the stink eye. I don't think he can do much. He was he on that turning roulette wheel? They were throwing axes or something at him. But Yamato was finally able to get the katana back. Ah, here it comes, Nash. Huh? Wait. Ah. Now, Armée de l'air? Assault! Zoro comes in, chops the head off of this thing. There's still blood. Interesting. So the dream was able to not only make it of a dream-like substance, but that also makes me think of the food that Gunko ate. So it probably did have nutritional value to it. Oh, no. Wait, hold on a second. I need to go back. I'm a fraud already. This is down in the forest. I don't think this is one of the nightmares of the children. I think this was an actual beast. I don't know. This thing didn't deserve that. I don't think it did. This looks like good eating. I mean, it's huge even compared to giants. Groggy saurish is considered a delicacy. It takes a while to carve out all the fat, but it's great when it's stewed in alcohol. Yeah, but you didn't bring any of that with us, right? There's a whole shed of cooking tools in the hunting shed. Let's look for some aromatic herbs on the way back. Hey, what's the deal with... I am talking in his dialect, let's just say, and that transitioned over to the next text bubble, so let's stop that now. Hey, what's the deal with this guy, huh? Is it a devil fruit? That shield came to life like that way back, and now I didn't say it. Get it together, Twitchy. That shield came to life like that way back years ago when my dad went on an expedition to vanquish Big Mom. Big Mama? Oh, so he's like Zeus then? A homie. Yeah, she's still alive. Still alive. What? You guys know Mr. Zeus? He's like one of the most exalted homies. Now he's a manservant to our navigator. Okay. Huh? Holy Knights. That's right. They showed up here. Humans from the world government? You're saying that's who beat you this badly? That's what I'm saying. You must have given them reason to seek revenge when you were rampaging beyond the sea. Don't be stupid. If I'd gotten far enough to run into them when I was out there, I'd be king of the world by now. Knights from the world government. Hey, you guys! Look what we caught. Whoa, that's huge. It's a Groggysaurus, tasty and nutritious. I delivered the killing blow. You should have been there. I've never seen such a graceful, soaring broccoli. Did you collect enough fallen trees? Yes, got a nice pile going. Thanks for the hunt. There we go, nice and cooked. Yummy. It's not just for you. Oh, right. Eat up, Loki. Hey, yo! Luffy putting that meat in Loki's mouth? Pause. Yeah, you're burning me. Be careful of his wounds, Luffy. I have always speculated about the seemingly fantastical way that Luffy always recovers from eating Niku. I don't know if that's related to the Nika fruit, if that's related to dreams manifesting themselves into reality. Shout out to Don to Don, or words manifesting into reality, I should say. Or if that's just like an urban legend, or if it's something else. The reason why I'm bringing it up is I'm curious if giants can also have a reinvigorated type of rejuvenation if they do eat meat, especially from a Groggysaurus. Are you trying to kill me? Hey, you're looking better already. Anyway, you need to eat if you want to recover. Chomp, chomp, munch, munch, munch. It's hard to swallow lying on my back. You can't sip me up first? Jeez, so fussy. Got something stuck in your throat? Hang on a sec. I'll bring soup. Ouch, ouch, ah, hot. I can see it bubbling from here. Stay away from me. This is another point I did want to make before I turn the page. I would love it if Loki officially was a Straw Hat. I think he'll more so be an ally. If I had to put my money anywhere, it's ally on one of the Grand Fleet ships, or just as a co-sailing captain, I guess you can call it. I don't even know if he would have a crew at this point. It would just be all the animals of Elbaf, or what's left of the animals on Elbaf, I should say, after this whole debacle. But yeah, I just don't see him officially as a Straw Hat on the team, although it would be pretty nice. Oops! Yeah! Splash. He has more burns than before. Luffy? Get him away from me! Hey, Luffy. Sorry, I didn't mean to. You too, Gerd? Why did this guy do to make all the giants hate him so much? I'm guessing he was lying when he made that promise with Luffy. Where to find red hair now? Sorry, but I wasn't lying about that. We'll be the judge of that. Go on and tell us. Why should I tell you when you haven't upheld your end of the bargain and unlocked my last chain? Fair. You really want to meet red hair that badly, eh? I suppose I understand how it feels to idolize a pirate you met when you were just a lad. Oh, some rock stuff? You make it sound like you feel the same way about someone. Exclamation point. Yes, I did. And it pains me that I was only a boy at the time. Take me with you. Oh, where have we seen this before? R.I.P. R.I.P. to a goat. Freaking Pell. Pell? Oh my god, am I a fraud for the second time on camera? I am a fraud for the second. Pedro. Oh my god, guys, I am so sorry. I'm not used to being like live all the time. Yeah, thank you, Vonte. And thank you for asking them to like the stream. I don't deserve it, because I apparently do not know this series. It's just hard for me sometimes to remember names. I do remember the moments, though, I will say. Anyway, I didn't come here to meet a whelp like you. Stop making me repeat myself. Fight me, then. Huh? You don't have to use a blade on a kid. Shut up, Newgate. I was born in the wrong era. Man, Rocks took it out on Loki. Interesting. The Droggers are like soldiers. So many ghosts, too. Just the thing kids would be afraid of. Wipe them all out. Is that meant to be Loki? Drish, doom. All the other adjectives or onomatopoeias. I'll handle him. Yep, Mr. Ya. Ooh, right down the center. Yep, that Loki's gone. Our Loki, I would say, again, if I had to bet, I think he likely will pass away before the end of the series. I'd be hard-pressed to see a world that he wants to live in, that the Giants would allow him to live in, post-war where there should be peace, post-Final War. Good thing these are based on a child's imagination. Would they be stronger if the kids knew the real thing? That is another good, astute observation. I'd rather not find out. Yeah. There are more of them now. 3. A trio of abnormal voices. They can try to hide, but I still feel them. Okay, says Observation Hockey. If even Elbaf isn't safe anymore, then it's truly the end of days. Firefighting team. Open the sea cloud hoses. Will this even work? The flames are simply massive. Firefighters, I'm so glad y'all made it, but could you pick it up a little? The kids are about to reach the flames. All right, shout out to you, Saul. You took out the Nightmare Fenrir. Enunciate. The valves are all the way open. It's the strongest stream we've got. Put out the fire. You can do it. Get them flames out. I'm begging you. Look at that, Gunko. The kids are about to burn to death. What happens? Will they wake up? Oh God, that's not even a question I've even thought about. Yeah, burning skin might awake you from whatever sleep status you have. God, imagine waking up to being on fire. Nightmare fuel. Literally. Oh, if I was reacting to this chapter, that would be the name of this particular chapter title reaction. Nightmare fuel. They'll wake up from the heat, wail and cry for their parents, and be consumed by the flames and burned into bones, I assume. How about that? Now that's emotion. Sea Cloud. Is this Jinbei? Is he doing some fishman karate? What's wrong, firefighters? It's not going out. We're at max output. We out of options? Stop, children. He starts to laugh. Shoulder throw. Oh yeah, my boy Jinbei. Perfect. Perfect. Man, I've been waiting for him to kind of have a more prominent role. He was really in the background in Egghead, and I was kind of surprised given the fact that we finally picked him up in Wano. I would have thought immediately Oda would have gave him more shine, but yeah, this is good too. It's great, actually. There, that should do it. Was that in time? Over here, hop on. Yep. Way to go, Jinbei. I got the chills. The skeleton chills. Wow. Kabloosh. The wildfire in Forest Section 2 Branch Route 8 has been put out, and the kids are safe. The children weren't harmed by the flames, but they're still marching onward. That was a close one. We believed in you. Well done, firefighters. Was it, though? I'm not saying their efforts didn't help, but it wasn't actually them. The guardian deities of Elbaf. It wasn't us, but at least they're safe. No kidding. Did you see that, Robin? Jinbei must be nearby. That was so cool, Jinbei. So cool. Thank you, Jinbei. It's nothing. The kids at school all hate me, but I think of them as my friends. Oh, Colin. I'm so sorry. That's so sweet, Colin. We're going to save them together. Yeah. All right. And Gunko's on the mast of the ship. So I suppose the school isn't the only place. What? Who's that? To find a perky child. Colin. I was about to say he's drawn differently. I thought it was like a zoomed in look at his face. No, he is actually, towering over Jinbei as a 20-year-old child, which again is an oxymoron in the very sense of it. Whew. That was a fun chapter. Unfortunately, Oda did go on break the week after, but get your rest, my guy. All right, let me rehydrate. I will start the stupid ad process for that other site, and then I will be back in just a moment. I do appreciate the suggestion, Vonte, but I might do it anyway. I literally was just about to say I watched the ad, so I'm gonna get my worth out of it. But okay, so chapter 1146, movement amidst stillness. All right, she's hopping on top of Yamato. Thank you, you saved Pepe. I shall never forget thy favor. I shall become thy loyal subordinate, bruh. Oh, I was not expecting that. I mean, she's the type of person, if someone saves Pepe, that she would follow them into the afterlife, but that's an interesting development, I'll say. Who the hell are you? So you are one of the intruders? Intruders? An enemy encounter? You're the ones who kidnapped the children, aren't you? So you're the intruder from the human race. The ones who did that to the castle guards? Perspective shot going crazy. You said human race? We are gods! Gods? She's talking just like Enel and the Celestial Dragons. What do gods want with the kids from Elbaf, huh? Yeah, they're my friends. Where do you think you're taking them? Bring them back. Watch your mouth, brat. Charred section of that Elbaf branch. It'd be better if we could just abduct them, but with that size, as one of the cloud or thunder, lightning, storm. I can't remember that nightmare entity. Dreamlings, they're called. Let me correct myself. Frankie took it out with little lightning Kizaru blast from his reticle beam. Lilith and Bonnie, yay! The only choice we have is to make them walk on their own and escort them along the most appropriate route to the Holy Land. Holy Land? Mary Joie? Don't tell me you're a celestial dragon? What? You're one of those guys? Huh? Wait a sec. You don't even look like the ones we've seen. I think she's even higher up than that. Maybe part of the God's Knights? Indeed. So you want the little runts to turn them into slaves? Ah, what the heck is that arrow? I won't let this happen. Zeus! Hey, Nami, you called? Hey, this arrow's following me. Get away from me! Get away from me. Thunder Shock! Tempo! All right. Reverse Uno card. I don't have any Uno cards. I don't know why I'm looking around. I was thinking maybe one would appear. Just Uno card. What the? One day the world was simply going to disappear. Or at least that's what was supposed to happen. Run, Nami! Yeah! Sorry. Nami! It hit me. Oh, Brooke. Wait, I hit you? However, a portion of the humans realized this and made it known to the world. Thanks. Got her tongue out. Oh, Nami. You little cat burglar, you. Usopp shoots out. Gunko just stares at him. I'm trying. Like, technically, I think it hit her. Take that. Don't think we're scared of celestial dragons, you bastard. Usopp! Was that really necessary? Like, the top portion of her body is gone. That's why I was kind of questioning that panel. Half her body's gone. I'm sorry. Hey? What? What? I feel bad for her, but she's regenerating. This is freaky. That's right. Coming back to life is something bizarre. Shut up, Brooke. You bag of bones. Now that it's come to this, yeah, there's no stopping it anymore. No one can stop it now. The arrow goes at Usopp. Ah, that arrow again. That thing goes straight for the target, doesn't it? Leave it to me, Usopp. We're trying to wrangle it like a snake. Leave it to me, Usopp. Knowing exactly where the blow will land, it's the pinnacle of absurdity. Unless it is too fast for you to stop and, you know, you blink and you miss it. That's the phrase. It's like a countdown. An enormous battle that will engulf the world is about to begin. Flashing back to Dorry and Broggy. When that time comes, whoever the giants choose to side with will drastically change the course of the war. They did not stuff this man full like Luffy. Guys. And Luffy is right next to him. What a bunch of idiots. I love them. A war involving the whole world? Yeah, right. Like that's ever gonna happen. So that's why you want Elbaf under your control and you're using the children as hostages? That's disgusting. I do this out of duty alone, but in the end, it may be pointless. The lives of those children are nothing but trash to me. The concept of a hostage means nothing. You've got a screw loose or what, lady? You bastard. Wraps? Oh, around the neck, up into the air? Tighten. Colin! Gosenmai, Gawara, Gavote. Attach. Attach. 5,000 title strike is Jinbei's. Brooks is revolutionary dance. Gavotte, classical French dance, giving the full name the sense of revolutionary gavotte. Brook gets his top popped off. Jinbei gets slashed across the shoulder blade or the chest. Whoosh. Kya! Nami gets kicked upwards by Gunko. Nami! Dodge! You wretch! Oh. Usopp caught one too. A knee to the jawline is crazy. Well, bzz, bzz. Is everything ready, Killingham? So Elbaf does have a very limited communication network. That's true, but it seems there are strategic points in each village. Ah, Director Kiba. Ugh. I need something really hard and full of spikes. Ugh. Director! Oh, well, that's Killingham. A little poor quality on this scan, so I didn't quite notice the drawing at first, but definitely in that second panel. My body, it won't move. Ah, I just put your body in. Oh, no, 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 no. Not gonna move on without talking about that. Sleep paralysis while you're awake? This guy's devil fruit power is crazy good. I don't know if you have to look like him to have it. That would suck, but this is actually great because he can make the teacher essentially paralyzed, sleep paralysis while you're awake. This big guy here, right? Never heard of a Dengo Mushi before. Summers, try saying something through the Den Mushi. Pretty sure everyone in Elbaf will hear you. Ah, got it. It's like a microphone type thing. But sorry, hold on, Killingham. I'm almost done with this one. that ex-Marine Vice Admiral was supposed to have died in O'Hara. Rabin, Chopper, don't come out. Hide behind my hair. So, I'm leaving the kids in your care, please. Yeehaha! Come at me at full force. Timber! Yeehaha! Ooh. Down into the briarwood he goes. School? Library? Cut the peace and learning crap. You're warriors. There was a time when giants shook this world with sheer brute strength. You'll become our mercenary soldiers. Isn't that right, King Harold? Harold, that bastard. He really screwed it up this time. Wasn't he supposed to be a glorious, radiant king? Hold on a second. Is that... Okay, that looks like Summers when he was younger. Yeah. Same kind of butt chin. Or ball chin, I guess I can say. Again, poor scan quality, but let me get Vonte in here. Gunko is overpowered, and welcome.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, he got that little cross goatee. He's a holy knight. So holy. So holy.
Yeah, he's full of holes, all right. Oh, you weren't talking about Saul? Sorry.
No, not that fraud. No, I'm just playing.
He's retired. He's not a fraud. He's retired.
He's a fraud. He's a dead man walking.
Well, that I'll agree with, but... I mean, do those thorns break through armament hockey? I think it would probably depend on the armament hockey, right?
More than likely.
So we know Saul does have armament hockey. Whether or not he has enough left in him energy-wise to produce it to protect himself, that remains to be seen. But what'd you make of the fact that King Harold seemingly was not an evil guy? So, like, seeing this from the Holy Knight's perspective makes me think he was genuinely a good guy.
I still think
or
he
at
was...
least had the pacifist mentality.
Yeah. There's a few interesting things about that I feel like can also be connected, and this is gonna sound kind of random, but connected with rocks on God Valley, or not even just God Valley, but rocks in general. So going back to the last chapter with him and Loki wanted to join his crew.
Loki.
Why was he on Elbath? What was the point of Rocks being on Elbath? Was he trying to speak with Harold? Was he trying to look for maybe?
I think so.
Was he recruiting giants or something? Was he recruiting?
I think
maybe
he was.
Big Mom. She was still around that area when she was first sailing, right? And now think about God Valley and them targeting Rocks, and him being a big threat to the world government. So I'm guessing he was trying to do all the same things that they were trying to do. So they say, "Oh yeah, we gotta get him out of here." He's nope.
See, the picture is becoming much clearer, because if they did have an agreement, so I think the term is a treaty of non-aggression. So Harold might want to keep peace, and the way to keep peace is to align yourself with a very strong ally at times. So that would sometimes imply a deal was already cut. And if a deal was already cut, then that would make sense, because if he has a giant alliance already on the books, I'm talking about Rocks, yeah, he's numeral threat number one.
Yep. They said the Elbath warriors would definitely change the tide of the battle easily. So I can see Rocks trying to do that, trying to recruit, doing a lot of different things. There's probably some more things that we don't know just yet that he tried to do that was also maybe get the ancient weapons, all that kind of shit. So I said in my reaction, I was like, man, whatever jump rope Kaido was talking about, Joy Boy. Maybe Rocks was on that same kind of timing, but he was a lot more, like, okay, you might have been more on the money with it. Like, actually, because Kaido, what are you talking about? You know nothing. You know absolutely nothing.
That's true. Ronnie brings up an interesting point in the chat that Harold might have purposely made the kids soft.
Yeah.
Because of the deal. So that's something I didn't think about. I thought it was more so like altruistic. It might have had the unintended consequence of that doing that. So that way when Killingham and Summers come back, or if it was just Summers initially, he's like, this next generation is trash. I expected there would be fruits of labor.
I haven't said in my reaction that when you really think about it, King Harold essentially saved the world, or did a play that really saved the world. Obviously, we're not there yet in the final battle, but like for the Giants to be on our side,
in the end,
not
he
the world
did preserve
side.
Peace.
Yep, because if they was on that side, bruh, the handicap, like they have no, like they have.
I don't think we would win
Knights,
if they had the Giants.
Devils, Emu, weapons, Mother Flame, like all this shit, Marines. Nope. It would have been a true handicap. So he saved everybody's ass.
I mean, shout out to him. Again, from the flashback that we saw from, I believe it was Loki's perspective, might have been Harujan's, but that like shared memory of King Harold saying, I want you boys to work together, you're brothers.
Yep.
I want you to bring about the best that Elbaf can be, like as a pair, not one at ends with the other. I want you to work together as brothers.
Yep.
So at least he had his head in the right place, and I really commend him for it, because right now I don't know why they keep showing like the, kind of like the shadowing over his face. I don't feel like he was conflicted. Normally that's what that means, is like you have a conflicted matter. It might have been the deal that he cut with Rocks, the Treaty of Non-Aggression, because he's like, okay, well, I do have to uphold my bargain if we do get into an endgame war. But on the same hand, the next generation of kids were weaker, and there's only one giant kid at the moment that has any sort of fighting prowess, or at least desire to start fighting. Right. That's Colin.
Right. The parallels between Loki and Luffy is hilarious. Bro had a hero just like
both
Luffy,
sitting there like balloons.
I want to go out and sail with you.
Take me on your ship.
No. Just Shanks didn't beat Luffy.
Did he actually? Okay, so this is something I only learned recently, and I don't know if you know this or not. Apparently, in the initial chapter, when Luffy got the scar underneath his eye, he was aiming for his eye, and he missed. So he meant to take out an eye to get an eye patch. Do you think that Loki might have purposely taken out his eyes as a form of, like... I'm just saying, it's a speculation, of course, but he did have that as a child when he beat up his brother. He had the bandages over his eyes, so they've either been covered or he injured them himself. I think that would be hilarious if he actually succeeded where Luffy failed, and now he failed where Luffy is succeeding in terms of, fighting this final war as the main guy.
You know something else too? I think that is a actual huge quote that Loki said after that little flashback with Rocks. He said, I was born in the wrong era. And the perspective of his face were kind of like on the side following him. Like literally what he said is kind of a big deal, because look at where he is now. Him and Luffy, we still don't know what's going on with Loki's Sun God Nika motif, but what it kind of seems like is that and I even mentioned your theory earlier about him maybe having like the giant model Nika or whatever, while Luke as a human or whatever. So it's kind of cool. He says, I was born in the wrong era, but in actuality, you're in the right times. When this final war comes in, you're going to play a huge part.
Exactly where you need to be.
Yeah, and another thing with Loki, man, damn, first it was Rocks, then it was Lola. Why everybody keep just rejecting them, man? Damn. He keeps getting rejected. Now that makes more sense with the Lola stuff. Now
Luffy,
that we
take me to sea
about
with
him a little
you.
bit more.
Nah, I'm good. Nah, I'm good. He pulls a Robin. Nah, I'm good. Let me sail the ocean with you. No, just die.
Lola said no. She said no.
Luffy would not.
Even though
do
it's
that.
funny, he's literally closer to age to Big Mom than he is to her daughter. Realist.
Wait. Yeah, you're right. I
Because
mean,
she was
technically
5 when
yes,
Loki was
but
born,
again,
I
with the giants and
Or
their aging,
something like that.
it's a little different.
Yeah. I was just saying that, like,
I get what you're saying though. Technically speaking,
because technically Lola was 12. Lola was 12 at the time, and Loki physically he might have been like, you know, that one silhouette we saw of him like just laughing. He might have been like,
he was probably like 20.
Physically 17, 16, something like that.
I mean, it does make sense in retrospect because of the fact that he just held out a solitary flower. And, you know, as someone who is of a younger disposition, that's a pretty pure-hearted, like, just, hey, here's a gesture. I would like to court you. I'd like to make you my wife. Again, because at that age, I don't think he really knew anything about the world. 17, 16, whatever. The next thing I wanted to talk about.
Dropping a little bit.
Oh no! Can you hear me now? Oh well, it'll have to do.
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can't do anything about it. I was gonna say the next thing I want to talk about is the fact that Gunko seemingly is immortal. Do you think that she has a subsect of Emu's power, similar to the Gorosei? Because she kept regenerating.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, the Holy Knights, they all got the same kind of power. Like, it's just, I don't know what the hell it is, but from the same
so OP
tree.
Whatever. Like, how do you stop that? Do you just like have to shoot?
No.
I was gonna say silver bullets. No, that's vampires. I was gonna say, do you have to shoot like sea prism stones, like bullets at them?
I was just thinking, like, I don't know. I said hockey earlier, but like, I don't know. They still will regenerate regardless, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably gotta drown them or something. I don't know.
Or just have him piss off Emu enough to where he revokes the access to their password. Yeah, today's chapter, it was fun. I don't think it really intrigues me as much as the last one. Although I will say Killingham's power, that you want to talk about busted. If he's immortal and has that power, he can make you paralyzed while just standing there while you're conscious.
Oh, I find it interesting that Brook knew of the Holy Knights. Obviously, he's old, but it's always cool when he drops some knowledge that he knows that the crew wouldn't know.
Do you remember when you were asking me like predictions for the Holy Knights of like characters we've already seen before? Do you remember what I said?
Oh, you say Yorkie.
Yeah, like it could have been his Captain Yorkie, and like his Captain Yorkie might have been like.
Where does that come from, though?
Just the aesthetic wise of having like one of the hats of one of the silhouettes match up. Yeah, there's literally like no evidence to that. I just thought that would be a pretty cool connection for Brook.
I was intrigued.
Since at this time he doesn't really have a adversary at the end of it. Yeah, I know. I was just pulling shit out of thin air. But I would. That's an interesting thought, Ronnie.
It was called Faded Arrow. Art name.
Faded Arrow. Okay. He says Gunko might be Emu's eyes in the world. She does have two different eyes. Her one eye, I guess it is a little bit reminiscent of Emu. So did she have to give up something in order to obtain this power in terms of like her body or a deal?
And she does literally have the arrow. Like, we seen Emu use the arrow
With
first,
the
and then she literally has the arrow ability herself, too. Might be like sailing DBZ, probably.
I understood that reference, even though I've never watched it, but I understood that reference. I still think so, Ronnie. I think there's some sort of spiritual or like hockey energy keeping that body together to where it will always regenerate. Because we didn't exactly 100% take out all of the cells of the Gorosei, but I feel like there's a certain point you take out enough of it. Like 1% of a body is not enough, and I know the perfect cell situation you mentioned, that is enough, but there's got to be a breaking point. I don't feel like it would be exactly like DBZ that Oda could do, but I mean, it is one of his mentors, or his Python.
Obliterate a body. Probably. I mean, at this point, we haven't seen a lot of different like attacks that are just like blasts essentially. So maybe, but who knows? But I will say I did like the matchup of Gunko coming out here and against the mix of the Straw Hats like Usopp, Nami, Jinbei, Brook. That's pretty cool. I like that already. Because we need them to be formidable. So she didn't really even break a sweat against them at all. So
no, absolutely.
Love to see it. Can't wait to see some of the other Holy Knights. Do you think? Let me ask you this: do you think? I know this is like a question that people get, that people ask damn near every arc. But do you think the Revolutionary Army is going to come here?
Or at least some of them. Elbaf? I sincerely doubt it. I'd be curious to hear what you think, but I think at this point this is a future battle that the Straw Hats have to experience. This has to be a mini Sabaody, and I know Sabaody was a shorter arc anyway, but I mean just this encounter with the Holy Knights. I feel Colin's going to get taken. Scopper Gaban will temporarily agree to go get his son back. He's not going to ally with us because why would Rayleigh join the fight? Again, that's another separate discussion. But I feel like there has to be a reason for the Giants to be like, oh, hey, we're on Luffy's side now. But for a future fight, not currently. I feel like throwing the Revolutionary Knights, Revolutionary Army into this skirmish would be a little bit too much.
But at this point, the Straw Hats don't need to prove themselves. Like, I just think it makes sense just based off of what they said. Like, once they start moving, we got to move too. And if they do get word, which I felt like they did whenever... I still got to read back earlier in this arc with the whole interception of the message or whatever and some big bird. I still don't know what they were talking about.
Yeah, they did say like giant raven or giant crow or something.
So I was saying Karusu.
What I think might happen is some of the revolutionaries are starting to pull up, and that's when Gunko and Co fly away with Colin. I feel like there's only going to be one. There's only going to be one giant kid taken. That's going to be Colin, and then all the other giant kids will be like, "We want to go save our friend," even though we said we hate him.
You know something else too? I think he's going to be Loki's apprentice if Loki survives the end of the story, of course. Or if not, he'll be Hydrogen's apprentice. Either or, I can see that, and then he'll eventually be the leader as well. Maybe. That'd be pretty cool.
I mean, he could get the teachings from both of the brothers. That's the best case scenario.
Yep. Plus, he's kind of like Loki was as a child, just anxious, like, oh, I want to fight. Let me go. I want to be
a bit more reserved, but yes, I can see the comparison.
Yeah, that poor Loki, man. Damn, why everybody just doing him wrong, man?
Dude,
Everybody.
Like, why was Luffy
I'm on his
like
side.
hot soup, like meat burning? It's like
everybody in his life is always
what do they call
against
it,
him.
branding.
I'm not gonna lie, man.
I feel like
he ain't do nothing wrong. That's literally the epitome. He ain't do nothing wrong, man. His people hate him. He's cursed. Rocks rejected him. Lola rejected him. Bro's getting burnt up by food right now. Like, bro, there's a lot going on. He got beat up by Shamrock in the Holy Knights. Like,
he literally never had a chance. Never had a chance.
Man.
Which makes me really interested in how Harold died
Holy
then.
Shit.
Because I want to know how Harold died. Because even if Loki was there, even if Loki had to kill his father, doesn't mean that he wanted to. Like, Harold might have said, okay, you need to fulfill the prophecy, you need to give me the final kill blow, or you need to, perhaps, this is just a theory, you need to eat my heart while it's still beating for you to obtain the devil fruit. Whatever devil fruit you have.
And then that could be the little hint from the Blackbeard, Whitebeard thing, too.
Yep.
He said, I was born in the wrong era. Actually, Rocks should say that because I know you were a kid at the time, but technically speaking, if, the theory about him probably, with Harold, crazy kind of treaty or whatever, or trying to recruit him, his son in the future with the actual next gen Joy Boy. So you were born in the wrong era. Rocks. He was too early. Rocks was too early.
Harold kind of lived on through the devil fruit because his son got it.
Yeah, so, the will of Harold, just like Ace or Sabo. Rocks was too early, man, just like Roger. Rocks was way too early, actually, when you really think about it, timeline-wise. He was like very early. God Valley, very
ahead of his time. Ahead of his time, you could say.
But I do like that he's very different too. Like I'm liking that Oda. At some point, he started to really differentiate Luffy from Roger, from Joy Boy. Now we have like Rocks that you can probably throw in parallels with, where he's very different. He's very he's not as positive as those three that I named, or at least based off of their their resume and their legendary. But I like that. They're all Joy Boy-esque or Nika / Joy Boy-esque people. They're holding that the torch.
See, obviously I named the stream what I did because of the title that I saw for your stream, but out of context, or your video I should say.
What did you think the context was when you saw it? Or what did you think?
I was like, his devil fruit is back. I thought it was some sort of like devil fruit from Rocks was finally revealed. I know it doesn't quite line up with the whole passing of the royal devil fruit from giant king to giant child, but
it's cool that Oda did that. Oda, you cooking, man. That's something that you could not put on your bingo card. Rocks, like hell no. That was
I can't believe he had a Pedro situation. And again, the Rocks to Roger parallels, they just keep growing because Pedro and Loki. And Pedro, one that died for the cause. Loki, I could see him dying by the end. I love him as a character, but honestly, he's got a lot of death flags around him. I mean, he's got one foot in the grave currently anyway, unfortunately, but
and he's very disposable.
Seems like a very dialogue character.
Yeah, like he's going to do a lot in the final war, but like, just think about giants in every story, they always fall. That's just a trope. But at the very least, do right by him, Oda, and he will, because he can't do shit right now, so he's definitely going to do a whole lot during that war. I wonder if that's when Rocks recruited Big Mom too. Like, I wonder if she was still around the area because she had sold out with her chef or whatever when she was a kid.
Yeah.
So maybe she was still around the area, and maybe Rocks ended up recruiting. Because in that panel, I mean, I know we can't just assume that there was no crew, but I just assumed that him and Whitebeard, they go way back. That was his first mate, and maybe that was like just them, maybe that a few other members, but very early in their days as a crew, which could make sense. Probably why Whitebeard.
Yeah, it's tough
left.
to know.
Like, dude, you're doing too much bullshit, man.
I just want to have a family, man. I just want to have a family. It doesn't even mean blood family. I just want a family.
Which goes into that theory that I mentioned to you, it was like last week, about when Sengoku was talking about rocks, how he committed a lot of taboos and whatnot. And Whitebeard probably, yeah, I dealt with you this long, but nah. It's like how Luffy is. How Luffy's just always gung-ho, just doing a whole bunch of wacky stuff, and then Zoro's like, dude.
Yeah, literally this arc. Like, Luffy, can you calm it down just a bit? Because you're doing too much. And then literally last chapter, Luffy was just like, Three Stooges. Whoa. Here's some hot soup on you. Oh, here's a searing piece of meat from a dinosaur that we just killed. The comedy in this arc has been awesome. Gerd just like, well done, Luffy. You too? Et tu, Gerd? Et tu?
How do you think Big Mom's going to come back in the story? Because, yeah, it is starting to seem like any little Big Mom connection just keeps popping up now. Whether it's them literally name dropping her, whether it's her homies, anything, her family, anything.
I could see a panel in which, do you remember the homie's name that was the shield? Did it get a name, or was it just the shield homie?
I forget. I think it was just a shield.
Okay. I could
like
see a panel to where...
Yeah, Ronnie.
I appreciate you, Ronnie. Thank you to anyone that's watching right now. I don't typically do a lot of content on this particular individual channel, but I have been trying to keep up with One Piece more frequently. So yes, if you like the stream, if you enjoy the channel, subscribe. I'll try to be here every Thursday, or sometimes I'll just do a Sunday morning official release live stream. But Nash, okay. But with the amount of content that we're doing on our dual reaction channel, talking about Vonte over here, it's going to be Mugen Eclipse. We're just doing way too much content on there to where I can't necessarily keep up with this channel. Just got too much on my plate. Yes, thank you for watching tonight. But with that little aside, by the way, going back to my point, I think there will be homies that get their souls removed, like Brooke, to replenish a dying Big Mom. I do think she is very close to death. She might be reacquiring the homies in order to preserve her life as much as possible. So she could be alive, but my thought is...
does she play it though?
I don't know. I think she might be bedridden, honestly. I don't think she's the same Big Mom that we saw initially. I think she's going to look her age the next time we see her. She might be like a decrepit 80-year-old.
With her family around her.
With her family around her, kind of similar to Whitebeard. So again, the parallels with those two, to where she might be hooked up to a whole bunch of cords and IV tubes. So personally, that's my headcanon for the moment. I think Big Mom should come back in a very decrepit state. I feel like she should be dehydrated. And her goal right now is eventually to get back into the game, but I think the most that she'll ever do is acquire as many homies as she can to temporarily preserve her life. But what do you think?
I actually agree with that. I can see that happening, definitely. And then Katakuri is like, "No, Mom, stop, just stop." Like, no. Because like at this point, you have peaks.
Take over.
You and Kaido, you guys have peaks. Yeah, it's like it's not your time anymore. You peaked. So yeah, I think that's
Would you
actually a
be
really
upset?
good way to
Would you
end
be
that
upset
with
if
her.
that's how she came back?
No,
Okay,
no.
good.
If that's how she come back and that's how she gets incapacitated for the rest of the story, I think that works.
Okay.
Because there's like there's something thematic about it. Just like you compare that to like Whitebeard, it'd be cool. And once we get the flashback, if we see them like talking about that, like about family stuff like that, it'll be cool to see a different perspective from the past that's not like Roger specific related or more so with Rocks. I think that'd be kind of fun to see.
See, the thing that
And kind of
most
different. You
intrigued
would think that
me.
you get more Rock stuff from a different perspective rather than
True.
group.
True. There's definitely the Rock's perspective. I was gonna say, as it relates to Big Mom characters specifically, I really always enjoyed her childlike innocence that has persisted well into her adult life. Even though she's of giant nature, she's even bigger than the giants. I've always liked the fact that when she gets those Mother Caramel like flashbacks, she talks like a child, she eats like a child, she has these temper tantrums. So I want to see her mentality now that she has survived this fateful encounter with the new generation, these young kids as she called them, and see if she has learned anything. I would love if there was a personality mindset change from Big Mom. Again, I don't think she should return to the final war. She's had her time, but that'd be a cool way to introduce her back if she was just on her deathbed, trying to. And my final add-on point to that would be for the homies that do get taken out. What if Nami has to like consistently bring Zeus back? It's kind of like a homing beacon of where Zeus is. Like she can feel his essence because that's her soul, but she can never get to him. So then you have like the Nami and Big Mom adventures to where she's always going after Nami, in the post One Piece story.
That would be funny. I really wonder what was Rox's motivation, because you remember that one, what was that when it showed young Whitebeard and then people were saying that it was Rox in the background sitting down by him.
Yes. So when
if
we
they do go
saw
way back,
Whitebeard's flashback.
Yeah, what do you think he was? Do you think he's more like a? I know people are gonna be like, why'd you compare him to him? But honestly, what if he was like Kid, just obviously better and more successful? But he was more like how Kid was, with his, I don't know, his motivations, just very ambitious to be somebody, and that's just what it was,
I mean,
and apparently him and Killer has some kind of backstory from when they were younger that we don't know because in the damn whatever. I'm not even gonna get into that, but yeah.
Before I give this thought, I want to ask a question. So I might be picking your brain a little bit with One Piece knowledge, and anyone in the chat can answer this too. But for the island that Whitebeard came from, was that an island of orphans? Or did the incident on that island cause him to be an orphan in addition to all the other kids on that island? Or did Whitebeard...
I remember what...
See, I know the specifics, they might not be specified, but the reason why I want to bring up that question is, what if Rox and Whitebeard had a similar dynamic and parallelism to Loki and to Harajin, to where Whitebeard initially was the go-getter, and he said, I'm going to go out into the world, I'm going to be a pirate, or at least, make a name for myself, do something with my life. But then Rox started to get this inherent talent or even resentment that was inside of himself, and it started to make him more talented to where he eventually overcame whatever Whitebeard was. Even though Whitebeard was a Yonko, he turned into the most dangerous pirate captain in the world. And then I think back to the Loki and Harjin situation, to where something very similar happened. Harjin initially was the giant child, but then the Curse Prince was born, eventually outgrew him,
You know what?
and physically, whatnot, and then defeated him and moved on.
You know what? I think I know exactly what. So they were orphans from whatever their island massacre, something like that happened. Whitebeard obviously says he lost his family. He always wanted a family, or maybe he was born without a family. You know, he was just a baby when that happened or something. But I think the same thing happened to both of them. He found a brother with rocks. He thought that, oh, you're gonna build a pirate crew and get all these people on board. Okay, I'm gonna build a family. Then he started realizing rocks is like, nah, I want it all. He's like, what are you talking about? All I want is family, it all. Man. What are you talking about?
What is this?
And then that's when they
Creed 3?
Yes, I want it all.
I want it all.
And then obviously they go their separate ways after the God Valley incident or whatever. And I think it's probably just as simple as that. Like, they probably both started from the same area. They went through the same thing in their backstory or their upbringing. And then he found a brother, found a family member in Rocks. Rocks was just spearheading towards the king of the world or whatever, kind of like what Blackbeard is doing right now. And he said, nah, I ain't doing that. And then, you know, Whitebeard, honestly, when you really think about his character, he might be another huge foil for a lot of characters in the series. Like, when you really think about it,
more and more and more, and it's not just
kind
the
of
potential, you know, connection that we have to Rocks that we're talking about. Guys, if you're interested, I will try to share a link to, again, our Dual Reaction Discord. I'm much more active in there than I am my own Discord server. So the reason why is I will share the exact panel that I'm talking about in this discussion, if you guys would like to, you know, talk about it more. But let me get that pulled up.
I'm just going to name off some people that Whitebeard either has connections with or potential. So you have Rocks, you have Big Mom, which you had mentioned about the family aspect. Even Luffy, when it comes to, you know, when you think about Marineford and like the, you know, the comparisons between the weaker pirate versus the strongest pirate or whatever. You have Blackbeard, just in general, he might remind him of like Rocks, and there's that. Obviously Roger.
5, obviously.
And from my theory, it's probably not true at all. But I just want to throw out there, not necessarily a foil, but a certain kind of connection. I was talking about Akainu, his potential backstory, if Rocks had anything to do with maybe whatever happened to him back then, and then Whitebeard was obviously, you know, with Rocks back then, and then fast forward to their fight at Marineford, maybe it was some kind of retribution thing in Akainu's head, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna take out this guy who was actually with another guy who ruined my life back in the day, and I'm gonna kill the King of the Pirates' son. But anyway, that was just a theory. But
I'm gonna do one more, Miss Buckingham, and you can choose which one you want to refer to, because technically it could be both, because with one being a clone of the other, the clone that is the younger version, Stussy, that we're seeing with CP0, I mean, she had her whole existence challenged because of the fact that she was a clone of a woman who claims that her son is the son of Whitebeard. And, you know, the obvious aesthetics, it could be a clone of Whitebeard, it could be the son of Whitebeard, could be completely unrelated, but she was on the crew with them. So, man, the Rocks Pirates, I really need to know more about them.
Even Kaido,
truly.
There's a foil there.
Yeah, Yonko.
You did it the right way. You did it the right way. Shut up.
Oh, man.
Whitebeard's that dude, man. Like, it's kind of like, it's weird. Like I think everybody feels Whitebeard is kind of like All Might, where like the fans were like, yeah, he's that guy, but like we don't really.
I did not give him his props during Marineford, and I know that was his shining moment and his obviously his death in the series. But even to this day, I don't think I've given him enough like mental respect or on his name, and that's something I'm realizing in hindsight that was a huge mistake. I love Whitebeard.
The only old head that doesn't piss me off now, like seriously. Rayleigh,
but
Roger,
actually,
Garb, all
but like, actually, even his laugh is hilarious.
Like that One Piece laugh quiz that I did, I was laughing at that. But
and obviously, I know we've been talking about Whitebeard a little bit. We didn't actually mention he was on Elbaf with Rox. Like we see a silhouette there. So what does he know about Loki, or what did he know about Loki? Like what did he know about the agreement?
Shut up, Nougat.
Why did they go to Elbaf in the first place? I'm sure if he was traveling with Rox, and that's another thing I think it could definitely connect to what we were talking about, that panel of them growing up as brothers or pseudo brothers, not blood brothers obviously, but yeah, he was with him on Elbaf. So some time passed between the orphan experience on that island and Elbaf. Whitebeard looks relatively shorter in that one panel we see. I know it's not a lot to go on.
I think they're pretty young,
but it makes me think that was like they agreed from that moment, from that island incident that made them orphans, like, hey, let's team up. We at least have each other. It's really interesting.
I think Whitebeard was probably always trying to be, level-headed and the mediator for stuff, and then he just like, okay, you're my bro. It's like in real life when people have siblings. Like, okay, what's wrong with you? You're just a loose cannon. Why can't you just be normal? And then eventually he just said, but I mean, honestly, if Rox did die on God Valley, I will say that Whitebeard did stick by his side for that long, though. So I will, and that's another level of respect to it. The fact that you probably were not, like you didn't really like what he was doing at all, but stayed by his side until then. Whitebeard's just a solid dude, man. Has his own morals. He went out the right way. He's like seriously, even the way he went out, right? You have people like Kaido, like upset and jealous, and all the respect that people gave him, even the Marines that he was fighting gave him respect. In the end, I mean, I know Shanks kind of, but
they allowed the Whitebeard pirates to take his corpse. That allowed him to give him proper burial. They didn't have to do that. They could have sent his corpse to Dr. Vegapunk. Like, how do we get someone with 2 devil fruits? Well, right. How do we take a devil fruit from someone? Now, the government might already know that, and I think we both have speculated that in the past, because why do all the admirals have these overpowered Zoan fruits and these overpowered mythical is Sengoku's a mythical Zoan? I can't remember the terminology, or is it
the Buddha.
Okay. Yeah, so again, they have all these overpowered devil fruits for the highest level of command. And don't even get me started on Emu's powers, which might be a completely separate matter, and or devil fruit. So yeah, it would make sense if they did already know the secret, but I mean, if they didn't, they seemed shocked when Blackbeard did what he did on a Marineford, got a second devil fruit. What do you mean he has the power to destroy the world? Yeah, he has the power to destroy the world now.
I need to see the girl saying Emu talk about Blackbeard. Like, you guys are just kind of, they don't even talk about him like that. Like, we, the whole poster thing in Emu's room, like, I know that he is a target, but like, it's kind of weird, like, since we could just compare him and Rox at this point, it seems like they're both we're doing the same thing, we're aiming towards the same thing. You guys did what you did against the Rox Pirates in God Valley, but why isn't Blackbeard, is he getting the same
treatment? Like,
that same, sort of, like, the same type
threat assessment?
Yeah, like it's kind of weird that you wouldn't. Even with Saint J Garcia when he was talking to Katarina and Devon and VonteThe1st, I'm a special bloodline. What is he aiming for? He's aiming for the world. Oh, shouldn't that give you
It could be a
PTSD back
couple
to
of
rocks
things. I think
potentially?
most likely is
Like, what's
they
going
think
on there? Are you guys just arrogant? Like, I don't know.
I think they can probably think they can take whatever Blackbeard obtains, whether that's devil fruit or not, because of Emu's power. I feel like, let's just call it a demonic power. If Emu has the demonic power, like, you know, rock, paper, scissors, like the live stream title, I think probably demon powers beats devil fruit. Devil fruit beats normal human, but then hockey beats demon power, or some triangle of that sort. Yeah, I don't know if they necessarily consider Blackbeard a threat or not. Do you think maybe the Gorosei are intimidated by Blackbeard, but Emu's like, nah, he's good. Like, we'll take care of that later.
Probably. You know what I think is going on? So going back to the Roger and Garp teaming up against Rocks, maybe they just assume that Blackbeard would do the same thing as Rocks, so that's why they're not scared of him. They feel like he would do the same thing that Roger did of teaming up with them, but instead he will probably team up, which is crazy to say. He might actually team up temporarily with Luffy, and then once they do defeat the Emu, and then they'll fight in the end. Cause like, what's the real logic as to why you guys wouldn't be afraid of, like, just in case, right? Like, you don't think Anika and then a guy that has two powers that can destroy the world, you don't think that would be a big threat combined? So, do they just think that he would do the same thing that Roger did? Especially since Blackbeard, I mean, he will do anything it takes to survive, and you know. So I think they know that. And there wasn't like a lot of animosity in that conversation with Saturn and VonteThe1st and Devon. So maybe they feel a little safe with him because they feel that he would join them.
Yeah. I was about to say, speaking of Devon, do you think Saturn's figure or intimidation, do you think that plays a role into how those two parties interact? Because I could see there being that almost being like a trump card to where a certain system is set up for the visage of Saturn, and it cannot be reprogrammed. Like, that system will always be agreed upon to listen to Saturn or recognize his
like
features.
Pacifista, maybe.
Pacifistas are one. What I was also thinking, possibly a lock on Mary Joie. So whatever is holding, you know, underneath the land itself in the caverns. Yeah. Because that seems like some mystical type of almost, again, I'm going to use demonic. It's not very good of an adjective when I use it 7 times. But it's almost like a demonic seal that you can't, like, oh, well, we're just going to replace the CEO with a new CEO. You can't really do that with those type of seals. So, I don't know. Is that like a card that the Blackbeard's pirates are holding now? Or do you feel like that's now like a null and void point now that Saturn's dead?
Nah, I feel like there was so much emphasis in her touching him. It's going to come back up somehow.
I just don't know how.
And I think what you're saying makes sense. Because if it's just him coming back, like, who does that really trick? They know that he died, you know? So
yes.
I think it's more in line with what you're saying, of some kind of, like, you know, a key to something, or, you know, that he had control over, more than likely.
But another thing I do want to mention is, I think they mentioned it, memory's a little rusty since I've been off from One Piece for a couple of weeks. They said that the ones that can move with the marks, they have markings on their bodies. I'm talking about the transportation seals, so the instant transmission seals.
Yeah.
So technically speaking, if Devon is in that form, they can access the whole network of transportation circles. So that is a positive.
That might be it.
They can go anywhere in the world when they want to, and that kind of screws the Straw Hats.
And VonteThe1st already can. Well, most.
Well, he has a limit. It's related to, again, his energy. Like, he can't, just go across the world in one fell swoop.
He can't,
But the transportation circles, as long as you know the
That's
incantations,
hilarious.
as long as you have the markings on your body, which they now do. So shout out to this stupid guy right here. It's my bad shoulder, guys, so I'm doing it for you.
Yeah, that was my bad eye when I was looking. I was like, what is he pointing at? What is that? Oh, okay, there it is. No, but yeah, I think that, Blackbeard Pirates, they be moving really well. I do like that Oda is doing that with them in the background, because you have to make the enemy crew very formidable and smart. They're actually pretty smart, or at least some of them, not all of them. Also,
they're calculated.
Randomly, I was rewatching very calculated. I was rewatching the episode with when Lafitte was when he showed up at Mary Joie. I'm like, what is your role, man? Even with his dialogue, he said, like, I think they asked him, who is he? He said, that doesn't matter.
Just tap dancing.
Or whatever. Like, do you think he's going to play a big role?
I kind of feel like he's an op, but not an op to who I think would traditionally be an op. I know that's a weird statement, but imagine there's like another commander that he screws, even though in the end it's not for the best for Blackbeard, but it's for whatever Lafitte wants. And I truly do not have a slightest clue what he wants in the end, because he's been, propping up Blackbeard since the beginning. But is that the only thing you're doing? Are you a similar member of the D clan like Law, but you just chose a different member to lead the world?
Oh no,
Lafitte is
I'm trying to see if
confusing.
I can pull it up. Very confusing. Like, immediately his dialogue was just wild.
Like, he doesn't blink.
Who are
blink,
you?
Motherfucker, blink.
And then he showed up there out of all places. Wasn't like the first time we ever even seen the Holy Land, right? Yeah, that was the first time we saw that place.
When
first
Dofi showed up, Kuma showed up.
Yeah.
Which, again, could be just a coincidence, but those two people, one knew about the secret of Mary Joie, the other one knew about the transportation. So we start connecting some pieces in terms of what Devon is using, potentially with her Saturn transformation form, and what Blackbeard might have learned as a child. He's got a wealth of knowledge. And guys, this will be the first time that I cross promote this, but I did do a Blackbeard theory on my channel about him being the hidden third prince of Elbaf. I don't know if I still believe it or not. I had a lot of fun making it, so I hope you'll enjoy it. But I want to say it was, how long ago did I release that? A couple months, right? Has it been that long? I don't know. Let me take a look. Yeah, but take a look at that if you're interested, because I had a lot of fun making that. February, yeah, it's been 2 months.
I'm gonna send you that panel of Lafitte. I just got off Google, so you have to zoom in a little bit.
Okay. You said this is the initial time that he was introduced to the story, or is this the more recent one? Okay, this is the initial
it's
one.
Not the best quality. Well, yeah. Hold on, you're lagging again.
No, I'm not saying anything.
Oh, then yeah, that means it was real delayed. What the hell? It caught up. It's caught up now.
Oh, and she... I forget her name, but the female... Suru. She knew who he was immediately. I know that he was, a former cop or something? infamous sheriff.
Yeah.
You want to talk about weird bodies? He's got a weird body. He looks like a musical note. Chased
you're aware
out
of
of
my
his
name.
country.
Yeah. Like everything about that, the way that you zoom in on his face in the last panel, like Oda, he's definitely cooking something with him. And knowing Oda, a lot of things that he has in mind from years ago,
It's weird.
like Lafitte is definitely somebody who's gonna be important to the story, because this was a huge moment. This is the first time we went here to this room, first time we met some of these characters, and then Lafitte was the person that he was technically introduced formally before Blackbeard. Because he talked about, we knew Teach obviously from the whole Jaya cherry pie thing, but that's kind of crazy. Like, and he's still in the background just doing things. So who is he? We know he's from a sky island, or at least with his wings you would think he is. Maybe he's not somehow. I don't fucking know. Maybe he's just a Zoan. I don't know. We don't know what he could be. Are you even human? Like, what are you, dude?
That is not a human face. Let me just say, that is not a human face. That is an animal that has been very good at deception. Shout out to Freeran, because this is a demon in human's clothing.
Ooh, I didn't even think about that. Do you think we're going to circle to Blackbeard when he first formed his crew? Like, we know he had Burgess,
so the Doctor, Burgess,
Doc,
Augur. I think those were the first four.
Mm-hmm. I just want to know how he met Lafitte. You know, like who? Like, how did you meet him?
That's a good question. That's a good question. Because it
seems like he's like, that's his messenger.
He was on Whitebeard's ship for a while.
Yeah.
Was that maybe a town that they went to?
Mm-hmm. Maybe. I think he's like a shapeshifter or something. I don't know. He's some freaky shit. He's just a bird. I'm a bird. He reminds me, I don't know if you get the same impression of the slyness of the Egyptian Sphinx. And the face of a human, body of a lion, wings, and speaks in riddles, or speaks in, I don't know what you want to call a performer's voice. Sometimes I put that on for these reactions, but he's very showboaty or performative about the way that he talks. And again, when I look at that panel, and it's pretty much every panel, not just this one, but whenever I look at this introductory panel of Lafitte, that doesn't look very much like a human's face to me. Yeah, it looked like he could just form into like his true form. Like this is just like a little disguise, just enough to make him look relatively regular, but not.
Like if you don't look at him directly, like, yeah, that's a human. Oh, wait a second. No.
Wait, we never know his power either, right? No, he's interesting. Because everybody on the Blackbeard Pirates all have devil fruits, and we know all their powers except for him. That's really interesting. He's cooking something with him, because Oda made it a thing for all of them to have devil fruits recently. Yes. So the fact that we don't even know his and we know everybody else, I don't know. It's just kind of scary.
I came up with the suggestion that he's a sphinx. I have seen a mythical hypnotic owl. That was a pretty cool theory. I don't remember who did it. I've also seen some sort of like what was the other animal? Owl. I thought of a sphinx. Not necessarily a Griffith, because I think that's somewhat related to what Shanks's sword could have eaten. There's discussions there, obviously, with what happened with Shamrock in this particular, arc. But yeah, I can't remember it. I forget. But
or he might be some kind of like for the narrative, I don't know. Like, do you think Oda's going to try to make him one of those characters that's just always rendered in mystery, or do you think he will like?
I think there will be a
spill
reveal
everything that he is
eventually.
Okay.
I don't know if we're gonna get all of the backstory, but we're gonna get enough to be like, okay, Lafitte, everything has changed. Forget everything you thought you knew, everything that you speculated about.
Probably from the Sky Island. Maybe from the mural. Maybe he might be some kind of. Yeah, we did see a person with wings in. I have to look at the mural again, but
I'm gonna look at it right now. 11:38.
You know what I'm talking about.
Wasn't there one of them that was either standing on it or?
Yeah.
Hold on.
He had wings. Who is this guy, man?
Yeah, I gotta admit, this is just me speaking here, but Elbaf has been everything I've wanted it to be so far. I know we're kind of zooming out big picture here as I take a look at this mural again. But yeah, just
we are
world building.
With Elbaf.
World building. You want to talk about character development, new character introductions, the comedy, I do have a literal sense of urgency, not in the traditional sense, but the fact that there are vulnerable persons in this arc, a la the giant children that are walking towards a raging fire. That's not something you can stop when they have the thorns around them and your hands get full of holes as you try to pull them back. Can't wake them up. Right. They're sleepwalking. I've loved Elbaf so far. Now the only thing I need, and I'm willing to give Oda the patience to bring it home, I need some Usopp. I need much more Usopp than we've gotten so far. Usopp
I've seen somebody posted the panel of him getting kneed. They're like, bruh, Oda.
That's why I brought it up. This
I mean,
chapter,
he did shoot
the
Muto on her, but she regenerated though.
He did technically kill her.
He technically did the most. But he technically did the most until she's regenerated, you know, which is kind of whatever. But
yeah, but going back to Lafitte, there's that one angel woman or angel man, I should say, I don't know, that is by the king emu of what we think.
Ooh, or what if he's like a double cross? So like kind of what you were saying, like maybe he'll like double cross a commander. What if he double crosses Blackbeard? Like he's the one, like he's actually emu messenger, or like you know, and then he's the one that sends Blackbeard to emu for because he is big enough. Blackbeard. He went to the
dangerous
Holy Land
mission in like all of eternity,
bruh.
If you give a person like Blackbeard, let's just say Blackbeard learned how you could get 2 devil fruits from Lafitte. If that's the conversation that we get, because Lafitte learned it from Emu, because Emu's the one that, you know, is making the rules of the world, that would break my mind.
You know what?
But yes, that's the most dangerous freaking that's the most dangerous double-crossing mission. And also, it's hilarious because you literally prop this guy up just to chop him down.
So he's Black Zetsu.
He's Black Zetsu.
He's literally Black Zetsu. Literally Black Zetsu. And he actually acts like White Zetsu.
That's hilarious.
Honestly, no, seriously, I think that's kind of what Oda might be going for. And the thing is, though, you can't even say Oda copied because he's been planning this for sure.
I think
years
this was
ago,
well before Zetsu was ever.
This dropped back in like 2002, 2003. I was a toddler. I'm a grown man now. I'll be 25 in 2 days.
I'm a man. I'm 40. I would love that. I'm just saying, because Blackbeard, and this could be, based off of the fact that he claims the D moniker, things have been going almost perfectly. And I don't stutter when I say that. Things have been going almost perfectly since he decided to stab Thatch. Since that moment, what's
right.
what's one notable setback that Blackbeard has had? I can't think of one. Him getting punched really, by Luffy and impelled down does not count because he got out unscathed. Magellan? Nope, doesn't count.
Honestly, no. He's never really had one. Akainu, what do you do? Chase him? I mean, yeah, he's never really had a actual big setback, which is fucking crazy. That Akainu, man, man's different. Man. Who do you think you are? That's why I always say, yeah, he might be like top one, damn near. Like, who does he think he is, man? Like, really?
He's got the devil.
This guy that has 2 world destructing powers, he's like, fuck it. Yeah, fuck it, I'm after him. I rock with it too. He fought the strongest man in the world, whether or not he was elderly and injured, whatever, or ill. But hey, he's just a crazy guy. That's why I can't wait to learn his backstory. Please, Oda, cook.
That's another one.
I want all that shit that he got in his head now. I need, like, for him to be that devoted, it has to be something that matches that. It can't just be, oh, I'm just so good at my job and I just so happen to have my own viewpoint on justice. No, it should be something that really forced them into that.
I feel like really it has to be a personalized reason. He has to have a festering rage for pirates that cannot be quelled.
Yeah.
How do you kill a group of archaeologists aboard a boat in Ohara? Just because. No one orders you to do that. That's like a soldier. God forbid that this would... I know it's going to happen again, unfortunately, but a soldier from a country, doesn't have to be ours, that goes into another country and starts shooting civilians. Just because.
Right.
There could have been a bad guy in there. Oh, can you prove that? No? Well, there's a dead village over there.
I have a prediction that one of the Gorosei members probably was one of the first people to come up to Akainu after some kind of atrocity for pirates, and they probably been in his ear since he was a child.
Saturn.
I guess. No, I think it's
Fucking
one that's
snake.
still alive.
You think it's one? Okay.
I think it's one that's going to bring it up, like when he's, how Akainu, he kind of just talks trash and talks back to people all the time. He
probably
might say something like,
"Oh,
don't you forget, boy."
No, boy.
Don't you forget, boy.
I mean, look, they have had their hands on the world government structure, or excuse me, the Navy structure since its inception. They literally commandeer them from active missions to protect celestial dragons if they're in danger. No. We have to protect these fattened up pigs. I mean, celestial dragons. No, we're definitely not going to sacrifice them. That's another theory I had, you guys. The celestial dragons will be harvested because they are way too plump not to be harvested for a succulent meal.
I think, I'm looking at the mirror again, I think that could actually be Lafitte. Yeah, just going back on that theory, like, for him to be like that close to Emu right there, and then like the way that he's the one that's giving Blackbeard this, like, and we don't even know what his power is compared to all the Blackbeard pirates. Like, he could be setting him up somehow. I just don't know how exactly he's doing that. Like, can he see the future or something? Like, in what way would him getting Blackbeard, Warlord, Yonko, like, helping him out this much help Emu specifically? Like, what about that? Like, how could he have done that?
Well, that is true, but another nagging question I've had in my brain for the longest time is why hasn't the government actively pursued the One Piece since Roger made his speech at Lockdown? So, my connecting thought was then they need a member of the D clan or potentially someone of special heritage. Maybe a blood seal is on said lock for One Piece. So, if Teach has a special lineage or Teach is a member of the D clan, they could then usurp him at the end, cut his throat like Julius Caesar or stab him in the back. And then that way the government can finally get the One Piece by using Lafitte as a long-term plant in the one crew that they could realistically manipulate. They promoted him to a warlord, they promoted him to a Yonko, and then they made him the king of the pirates, only to kill him at the very end and not allow any reign of any sort.
And honestly, too, so when you said that, we were resonating because I kept asking why would Saturn refer to him as like from a special lineage? If like why he would never say that.
They've known about him.
That wouldn't make any sense.
They've known about him.
Like why would he call Blackbeard special if he's like technically he is calling him special because of the D clan, but not because he is a part of D clan, because of that reason that you just said.
True.
Where they could use him to get the One Piece. I'm not gonna lie, I love this theory. You gotta drop this one. Like, I think that's.
I don't know.
Really
do I have enough on it though? I know you were following me through the logical steps that I was making. I don't feel like we know enough about Lafitte for me to like say that confidently.
True, you know? But like, how is he able to go to the Holy Land? How is he able to always recommend Blackbeard to this? Like, how is
True.
He's different from the rest of the bunch. That's something that is like damn near a fact that he like has no devil fruit. We know nothing of him compared to everybody else. We know that they were prisoners. They did a lot of crazy shit, whatever. Impel down.
Okay.
Him though, we know nothing. The mystery of his character in general, like it's just
we know about the same about Lafitte as we do about Emu. We might even know more about Emu than we know about Lafitte.
Right.
Thank you, Ronnie, for your kind comment. And thank you for joining our Discord. I will officially welcome you after the stream. But yeah, I don't know. Lafitte, that is such an interesting
character. How long has he been with Blackbeard, man?
I mean, he had to be one of the first five. One of the first four or five.
I think he was like the very first. If you notice in One Piece, there is like a, what is it? I was gonna say there's like a, it might not be a running theme, but I feel like there's always been one character that's been with a certain pirate
for a while.
That kind of like, yeah, Treble with Dofi. Even though I know Treble is trash, but like think about how it's like they're propping up. There's always like a mentor or someone that's guiding, or even Orochi with the witch, right? There's always somebody propping this person to become something. So Blackbeard to conquer the world or whatever, or that's what he wants to do. It would make sense that Lafitte might have been there since back then. No telling what he is. He might be some kind of Zoan, something that's not human, something. And he's probably been there since Blackbeard was a child. The fact that he can't sleep, he might have had this guy in his ear forever or something. It could have been that. He might turn into a fucking bird. I don't know.
Brain
owl,
just exploded.
Nighttime, I don't know.
Hold on, Vonte.
What you thinking?
Please prepare yourself, guys. I often get these like random aluminum foil hat theories. I think I just might have made a crazy connection with what we've been talking about tonight. All right, Whitebeard and rocks. Okay, so that you're with me on the same page. Like this, very similar to what you're talking about, mentor or at least someone as a stable side to the captain and a rambunctious captain.
Mentor.
Okay, Do you remember that theory that I think someone on the internet posted, that the spirit of Rox, or the embodiment of Rox, could be inside of Blackbeard's body? Or he could have Rox's devil fruit in him? So what if, because of the fact that Rox was starting to ascend too highly, like Prometheus towards the sun, they decided to put out an official government hit with Garp, and Roger just kind of joined the fray. But then they agreed to cut down Rox and even maybe cut a deal with Roger, which that's another theory you guys don't really know about, but I'll talk about that in a sec. But then when this soul got transferred into this child, that's when he started not to be able to sleep. And then we got the Yami Yami no Mi. Maybe there was some sort of connection there to where it was prophesized, or they had some sort of observation hockey to look into the future. And then when they were able to find out that it was Blackbeard, that's when Lafitte was sent out into the field as an agent, similar to like CP9 or CP0, in order to start building this kid up, because Rox was the one that they couldn't control. But Blackbeard could be the one that they control if they get in his ear early enough.
Because he's
if
empty.
They
he's
build
an
him
empty
up
glass.
From scratch. He's an empty vessel.
Yep.
Like, he's a Shigaraki that you can mold into whatever you want to.
Exactly.
All for one. He's young enough and naive enough that you don't know what to do. So just let this older adult guide you on your path.
Wow. Wouldn't think of, like, I could already see it. Like, think of like Blackbeard, the crying panel, and then Lafitte shows up, like walking. Some man came to me when, that kind of, that whole scene. I could see it. It's just, swinging his cane, doing that weird shit that he always does, and oh man,
what seems to be the trouble, good lad?
That'd be wild. And there's some irony with Lafitte too. Some irony on like the play of Icarus.
Yes.
Flew too close to the sun. Maybe it's like, this is like a play on that. That's not exactly that, but similar in a way, where it's like the reverse, where it's like the opposition of the sun god being Emu. There is an Icarus flying close to that darkness or whatever, and then Blackbeard or an Emu or whatever. And yeah, there could be something there too. Because even that mural, if that is him, or a representation of him, he is close to Emu. Like, literally.
And he is overseeing the purging of the world, or the resetting of the world as it stands.
Right. Hey, the NL fans, they name dropped him this chapter. Y'all like that? I know y'all probably happy as hell. Like, oh my god, they're right. They are talking like a god, like
Enoru-sama.
Yeah.
Enoru-sama.
I think we're cooking with the feet, man.
I might actually make that into a video. That's really getting the gears working in my brain.
And you don't have to do too much research either with him. I mean, it's like,
yeah,
a lot of shit derives from that panel of him going to the Holy Land, because that's still crazy. The first time we ever went to the Holy Land, I think he was there.
I think so.
Like,
yeah, he just like flew down
different
from Emu's castle.
Right. Because I think I remember we talked about this a while back. We kind of like half joked about I think Karabu. We're like, what if he's like some kind of Emu messenger or something? Because he was asking about
the eyes.
I forgot. I think it's something with ancient weapon or something in the eyes.
Oh,
and
like
then he went up to Blackbeard.
I have someone I need to tell this to. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe it's Lafitte. I would assume that Emu would do something like that. It just makes sense. Like, you already have Garp, a D-Clan member on your side. I would assume that you'll also have someone that's like Lafitte that can kind of just sneak in and get into people's minds.
Well, isn't that the best ace up your sleeve that you have? Is someone that you can literally prop up as a false king. Because he's under your control. I'm not going to get too political. There's some rumors about something happening in real world. We can talk about it afterwards, but yeah, that would be an insane long game plan. But Emu's got to have these safeguards in guard in order to rule over the world forever. It's not something that you just stumble into, or you're like, I'll try this out this time. No, like Emu's probably gone through multiple generations of this since the last time that this mythical war was waged, however many thousands of years ago, hundreds of years ago.
You're not the one that Roger was talking about, Teach. Yeah, because you're dead. You weren't even there. You died. You died before you can reach.
Okay. How would you feel if Lafitte was successful in said backstabbing and is the one that takes down Blackbeard?
Man, that would be one of the greatest missions I've ever seen in a manga. Like way better than
Zetsu, but actually great. Yes.
Yeah, because like Oda actually has been planning this. Like that's no one can dispute that. If it does happen, no one can dispute it. He's been thinking about this for 30 years, damn near. So yeah. Like factually, if that does happen.
I could see Blackbeard reverting back to that, that pathetic crying, like, Yamero, Oyaji, don't kill me, Lafitte. No, don't kill me.
Definitely. But, you know something too, I wonder if we're going to get some kind of link to him with the whole Dreamer speech to Luffy and Jaya. Like, that's still something that was, like, I wonder if, do you think that Lafitte was the one that preached that to him? That would be even more dirty, because that's something that he actually believes in, that's something he's passionate about. To make a speech about it, that would ruin Blackbeard's entire, like, everything about him. Like, that would be kind of, that's like worse than death. Like if he was the one that really got that into his head.
Vonte, is there anything, any realization that you just came to with what you just said? Like, I know you're...
The Dreamer thing?
Yes.
In terms of, like, you're thinking something that has to do with, like, the D-Clan?
I just want to ask you a question. How does Blackbeard know what dreams are if he can't sleep?
Yeah, it's funny. I was literally about to say that. I was like, I think I know what you're talking about. Because he don't sleep. How the hell you dream? Yeah, you can daydream, but are you really dreaming? Are you really dreaming?
What does he mean dreams never die? He doesn't have dreams. How have we never asked this question before?
Living, he said I'm living the dream, but you don't know what that is. That is crazy though. No, seriously, that's like
what I've like never thought about that in my life.
It's like those jokes in Avatar with Toph when they say something like, oh yeah, you're blind. Wait a minute. Oh, we forgot. Damn it. Like, oh, that's why you didn't get it, because you can't see. It's like that with the Blackbeard dreaming thing. Like, oh wait, that's obvious. Why the hell didn't we ever think about that?
I've never ever heard anyone talk about that.
Yo, Twitchy,
I think
we need to take the One Piece world by storm with these theories that we got. We have like maybe all together we might have like 7 specific theories.
Okay, so just to kind of a little bit in the background, I'm not going to spoil anything because we want to give these theories their full-fledged, time of day. So the one Blackbeard theory that I introduced already out on my channel. I had another one to where Roger by Shanks told him to go kill a frozen I'm just kind of laughing about this because it's just like I sound deranged when I give you these theories out of context. Roger told Shanks to go to Mary Joie to kill a certain individual so that a certain devil fruit would re-enter the reincarnation cycle because it hadn't been seen in about 600 years. Okay, so that means that that person was frozen underneath Mary Joie for hundreds of years. Okay, so that's another one. A third one that I talked about a little bit earlier this stream was that Roger might have been an op for the government, or might have cut a deal to be the, let's just say, the Kid King of Burger King. They give you a little hat. There's your hat.
That gotta
Roger.
be the thumbnail.
You're the king.
Hat on him.
You're the pirate king. Congratulations. Now come back and die. Oh, you don't like that?
Of course, the Celestial Dragons will give him that.
And then he's gonna rebel and then tell everyone, actually, just go be pirates. Okay, so that's 3 of them. A fourth one that Vonte's cooked up is who will be the recipient of the Opie Opie no Mi, and he said Robin. I love that theory. You need to push that theory out like yesterday. What's another one you had recently? 5.
Kind of hazy. We both just throw in certain stuff for each other, so it just, I don't know.
Throw in random crap, okay, so and we just kind of like build on each other. But what else you got?
I guess my kind one about his backstory and what actually happened to him. But that's more just a prediction. I don't really think it's a theory. I don't really have too much to go off of, other than his devotion and his resentment. But Dragon, with what happened on God Valley and how he became a revolutionary. There's a few more. There's a Mihawk one I think me and you both cooked a while back.
Oh, that he was a holy knight initially, that has defected.
Yep. I absolutely think he was a holy knight at some point. Let's see. One
of my stranger ones is that Dragon is not actually Luffy's dad. And you're going to be like, okay, well, that's not too strange. And then I'm going to respond, he's Luffy's mom, who got undergone a gender change surgery by Ivankov. And then Luffy's
I've actually
dad
never heard
has
that
already... Did I tell you that one? I thought I told you that one. Because I could have... Well, then, there you go. Because I could have swore that Oda already said, this might have been a fever dream of my own. I could have swore that Oda already said that he has drawn Luffy's mom already in the series. And I keep thinking to myself, okay, if we've seen her before, but we haven't put her together, like the most Occam's razor one is Makima from the bar. I was like, okay, I'd be okay with that. Because there's another little kid there that's with
his
Shanks.
Son, but that still don't matter though.
I mean, it doesn't matter.
Maybe
you got the Yamato Kaido stuff, but another thing is like with Dragon being the mom instead, that completely recontextualizes all of the. I thought I told you this before. I feel like I'm being gaslit.
I don't remember. I mean, maybe you did and I just didn't listen or something. I know about the part where you were saying about Oda said that he already drew. Like, I remember we talked about that before, but I don't remember that specifically. You might have, like, jokingly talked about Crockle Mom or whatever, but I didn't. The Dragon one, I don't think I thought too much from it. But you know something else about that?
That's a theory I have.
You know how in the Kuma backstory, so this is real recent, he talked about, like, what did he say? He said something about like pretty much a reason why he's not with his kid is because of like it's hard on a parent to. What was it that he said? Something about
it's putting the child in danger, or something along those lines. I think.
That was kind of strangely very nurturing. I'm not saying that
kind of feminine, nurture, like,
you get what I mean? Yeah.
It's more warm-hearted than, the traditional, I guess, parental figure or patriarchal, fatherly figures. Let's go with that word instead, since I can't talk. That's not traditionally, I would argue, a fatherly thing to say. Not to say that dads can't say it, but that sounds a little bit more motherly.
Very nurturing. Like for Dragon, for what he looks like, you would think he would just. It wouldn't have been that. like it's something that Oda didn't even have to do. You know, he could have just said something like, I don't know. It kind of caught me off guard a little bit because I was like, we didn't think he was going to say something about Luffy like that. We just thought the same old. He's away from Luffy, he checks up on him here and there, whatever. But maybe. And then,
what was your Blackbeard theory? I know mine was the third Prince of Elbaf, but didn't you have one too?
Well, I mean, kind of the more popular one, him being Rock's son.
Okay.
Him. Oh, and then with Rock's being in his ear all the time since he was a child. But this Lafitte one, I don't know. That one's kind of taking the cake now. I kind of like that one. I'm trying to think, there's another one. Oh, the One Piece. I was thinking that what Roger and the crew saw was like Gear 5 world, like a real wacky
yeah, you mentioned
world. Because he said, you know, Joy Boy, I wish I was in your time. And that could literally mean Joy Boy of the past or Luffy Joy Boy. And he doesn't know which way, and it doesn't matter. And then going into him being too early, him not being the one, essentially, being Joy Boy. And then the Luffy and Roger dream thing. I think it has to do with something being realistically wacky that shouldn't be possible to do. I don't know what that would mean.
I told you my thoughts on that. I thought they just wanted to eat on the moon. Yeah. Like have a banquet on the moon.
I still don't know exactly what it would be.
But I don't know why Roger would say that.
Yeah, we gotta get him out. Because they said it was childish with Luffy, and then they said it was ridiculous with Roger.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I think there's some other ones we talked about in the past, too. I mean, even
I'm sure
the Garp stuff and Roger stuff is not necessarily, it's just something to talk about that's like, does nobody else see this that we're seeing? Like, Garp and Roger, they just frauds, man. Especially
I mean,
Garp.
Look, the Roger as a Burger King, I think that might be the video title if I ever put that out there. The
I think
False
so too.
Burger King. It just makes so much sense when I lay out all the steps in terms of how I got there. I need to hurry up and download our DMs apparently because Twitter's getting rid of them or changing them or I don't know, some crap. But yeah, like we have Vonte and I have talked about a lot of One Piece theories that just have not met the light of day, and even these brief little summaries, they're not
somewhere
sufficient.
In our brains.
I
somewhere in our
could
memory bank.
swore I told you about the dragon being the mom theory. I don't know. I'm out of it. I could have swore I did. I thought I did.
Maybe you did a while ago, and I just didn't really buy into it until recently with that with the Kuma backstory. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I don't know, but I do like that a lot though.
Well, I mean, that could make Luffy's dad. I feel like that opens up the conversation again because then who's Luffy's dad? I mean, you could introduce whoever you want to be as Luffy's dad at that point.
Okay.
Celestial Dragon.
If it's somebody that we know, who do you think?
Someone that we know?
I don't want to say Roger because he's Garp's age and that'd be kind of weird, but I wouldn't want. I don't think I want that.
Yeah, that's a little too far fetched. Oh God, I feel like I walked into school without my homework.
My age's dragon is like 55. He's the same age as like a Kainu, Fujitora around there. I believe so. That could just be headcanon, but I think he is about 55-ish.
I don't know.
He must have turned into a woman around after God Valley then. When he was like 17 when he met Ivankov, because Ivankov had the devil fruit around probably somewhere after that time. I wonder why he would change. Just because, like, I just wanted be a woman, or do you think it could be something else potentially?
It could be, if we refer to Dragon as a she here, it could be that she was thinking, I don't have enough strength inherently as a man, as a woman, to enact what I feel is my sense of justice. Because Dragon was in the Navy, and you know their whole,
oh my god,
make your own, what?
I just thought
Come
about
on,
something.
Share with the class. Share with the class.
This is different. This is it was lagging a little bit, so I couldn't tell.
Okay,
but
sorry.
you know, it's kind of sad. Koina, it's kind of sad. Imagine if you got to meet Gunkos.
Yes.
Damn, that's.
They were in the area. I think that was a cover page. Like they were in the Shimotsuki village area.
Oh my god,
I know.
That's...
I know. I mean, there's theories she's still alive. I don't know. I don't know if I put too much stocks in that theory, but yeah, that would be.
That's heartbreaking.
Okay, so I'll give you an answer for who I think the dad could be. I don't necessarily believe this. This is more just like a what if it's Niddhoggr? Niddhoggr is a little bit younger, but potentially could be from the Holy Knights, could be a celestial dragon. I don't know.
Or he just could be a celestial dragon, you know, like another one that we haven't met yet. Which we did have. Oh yeah, we had the link. I remember one of the first theories that we discussed was dragon potentially being a Holy Knight at some point, like an honorary one. Because of him knowing about them, like, why do you know so much? I mean, obviously you probably were a Marine, but I mean, who knows?
There's a
could have been honorary
classification level. Yeah.
And he's the most dangerous man in the world, so like you did something to make him be like, yeah, nope.
There was a crime committed.
He has to die.
Or there was knowledge obtained that should not have gotten out.
Like, he knows too much.
Truly.
You know, his bounty is like basically the largest bounty in the series, because they just said that Roger and Whitebeard had like the biggest ones as pirates specifically. They didn't just say biggest bounties.
They did specify that. Yes.
So this shit's probably wild because of he just knows too much. And the fact that he's still alive is kind of crazy though. Like I don't know if Garp is doing it.
He has a trump card. He has something that has allowed him to stay alive.
Yeah.
Now
what if he is immortal? Ooh, that's
fine. If that's the mom, we still don't know the gender of Emu. It would be a little bit cliche.
Oh wow.
Could Emu be the dad? I don't know.
I mean, you know what too? When you really think about what happened, I don't even want to say this, but the Jenny situation, you know, that might be a
foreshadowing.
And then for all the people on Twitter that was mad, so much, why didn't he go save her? Oh my god! Come on, guys. Dragon's going to the Holy Land, handicapped.
Because Dragon knows what Emu is capable of. Dragon knows that Ginny is under lock and key. Dragon got out once. Man. You don't get out twice.
I think about the conversations too that they probably had. If that did happen to him, if you know something like that, because we always talk about him of Luffy's mom being a celestial dragon. What if Luffy's mom, Dragon, was with a celestial dragon?
That's what I'm saying.
That.
That could even be the name that the person Dragon adopted after having the child with Emu. And I know Oda has so many visual drawing aesthetics, But tell me that Vivi and Luffy sometimes don't look like one another. I'm not talking about the hair color. Obviously, that's different. But just like the circular eyes, the...
We're missing something, though. He can't... I don't think that could have happened. Unless, so you think that he could, like, switch back and forth, kind of like, I forget what that one...
There.
Yeah, I know. But, like, do you think that... I don't know. Like, well,
it doesn't have to be emo. I don't want to get us. No.
I'm saying like the dragon being Luffy's mom thing. Like when he first did it, he had to do it years ago. And yes, he can turn back and forth over time, but like, why would he need to?
So, could be related to his devil fruit. I want to bring up the potential that in nature there are different let's just say aesthetics to certain species. So most notably, since my dad is a hunter and horns are very much a theme of Elbaf, a male deer has very different combat abilities than a female deer, and that same logic could then be extrapolated stop it, to other species. So if he does have some sort of Zoan fruit, a mythical Zoan even, there could be a difference between a mythical Zoan that is in a male form versus a mythical Zoan that is in a female form, and could have significantly less stature, defense, attack, offensive capabilities. I don't know. Again, it's just a fun thought that I had. I don't see it happening, but at least I want Luffy's mom to be confirmed before the end of the series. Not like my hero and a certain father.
I think Oda will do it just because he knows people care a lot about it, and he probably didn't really care too much about it until after other people cared. I think he will give us that. But man, great stream, great discussion. It always ends like this, just crazy theories and stuff. But I mean, it's One Piece, everything's connected. It kind of don't even matter.
It's a lot to ask, guys. I do typically have almost like exclusively long streams on this channel, and I'm very thankful to Vonte. Each time he shows up, helps me fill up the airwaves and helps me, cook up some of these theories, because I wouldn't even have had that Lafitte theory if he hadn't brought up Lafitte in the first place. So again, thank you, man.
Yo,
I appreciate you coming in.
Next one, man.
I want Sherman to watch this first. Good one. I want Townsy to kind of listen to this discussion a little bit, but yeah, I definitely want to workshop this a bit more before I release it. But yeah, it's a great theory, I think. So, all right, guys, I don't really have an outro. I will tell you, I've almost exclusively become a One Piece YouTuber at the moment. I don't react to any other series on this channel, but I will try to be back here next Thursday evening. Can't do that because we have a Dawn to Dawn stream with our boy Laz on Mugen Eclipse, which is our dual reaction channel. That's going to be next Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern. So unless I do the One Piece stream afterwards, probably not. Going to be too exhausted for that. Yeah, so unless that is unless the chapter drops at like noon. If the chapter drops at noon, I might do something at like 3 o'clock. So again, if you're interested in this discussion between myself and you, the viewer, or me and Vonte and the viewer, feel free to subscribe to the channel. But with that being said, I don't have an outro, so goodbye.